Good day, everybody. Today we'll be going over the battle system changes for warriors in the upcoming expansion, Stormblood. Since we've already gone over the tank role actions with the paladin, this time we'll be jumping straight into the new abilities. But don't worry, any role actions relevant to the new abilities will be mentioned as we go along. So without further delay, let's get started. Just like with the other jobs, warriors have also gained their own UI element in the form of the Beast Gauge. Any abilities that previously granted or consumed stacks of Wrath or Abandon will now increase or decrease the Beast Gauge instead. Exceptions to this are the Vengeance and Raw Intuition abilities, which now function purely as defensive cooldowns and will not increase the Beast Gauge as veteran warriors would expect. The ability Infuriate has also received adjustments, granting only half of your Beast Gauge per application. But a new trait, gained at level 66, reduces its recast time every time you use a weapon skill that costs Beast Gauge. The Pain Train cannot be stopped. Unlike before, swapping stances now applies a rather harsh penalty of cutting your Beast Gauge in half, incentivizing warriors to spend their resources before switching stances. Delighting duty finder parties across all data centers, Berserk no longer causes self-pacification. Yes, you may finally put down your Berserk macros, permanently. While retaining their original functionalities, the damage buff from Maim and the slashing buff from Storm's Eye have been swapped. Maim is now responsible for the slashing penalty, and Storm's Eye grants the damage increase. The finisher Storm's Path has also had its damage reduction component removed, an effect that is now part of the new tank role action, Reprisal. The first new warrior ability comes in the form of Onslaught, the highly anticipated charge-like ability. Keep in mind that it does cost a portion of your Beast Gauge to activate, so it cannot be used to initiate combat unless you already have some gauge to spend. The second new ability, Upheaval, becomes the warrior's new off-global cooldown ability that scales with your current HP, a carbon copy of the paladin's Spirits Within. At level 68, a self-dispelling ability comes in the form of Shake It Off, removing most detrimental effects on a 60-second cooldown. I'm sure a lot of warriors wish this ability was around about 2 years ago. And finally, the signature ability of level 70 warriors is introduced as Inner Release, granting immunity to most forms of crowd control and cutting all Beast Gauge costs in half. This ability, combined with Infuriate, allows for up to 6 Fell Cleaves applications in succession. Safe to say there won't be much left besides minced meat by the time you're done. Of course, as part of the overall ability pruning, certain actions didn't quite make the cut. But warriors had very few removed abilities if compared to other jobs, and overall, it feels like most removals were well justified. Perhaps the biggest change worth mentioning is the loss of Bloodbath, which is now a melee role ability. No more mass self-healing with Bloodbath and overpower on packs of enemies. Brutal Swing also deserves an honorable mention, having become the new tank role action Low Blow, now accessible to all 3 tanks. So, how high is your Beast Gauge for the new warrior? Ready to lay down the pain and embrace the new Fell Cleave rotation? Well, to be fair, we'll have to wait until Stormblood to see just how well warrior plays and feels after these changes. But in the meantime, tell me how you feel about the new warrior. Will you pick it up after having learned more about it? Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next time.